Hey guys, welcome back to the Think About It podcast. I'm Nisi. I am so excited to have a safe space to speak our truth or to find it. So come on in for however long I have you here or however long I have your ear. Now let's think about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Think About It podcast with your girl Nisi. Yeah. What's poppin', y'all? Where did I get that yeah from? Like Nisi, yeah, girl, what is that? First off, whatever it is, wherever you got it from, return it back to Sunday because I don't like it. But hey guys, again, welcome back to another episode. I don't even know what episode we on, y'all. I don't know if we on episode. I think we on episode 16. I think we on episode 16, y'all. We striving, we moving. You know what I'm saying? We moving. I see the audience getting bigger. I appreciate that. You know, it ain't no drastic change, but I see the change. I see it all. All changes, all change. I guess the accept, right? Or we down for it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, welcome back, you guys. Okay, first off, I feel like the setup kind of looks a little bit different, y'all. I do have a different chair, y'all. I stole my mama's chair at her office, period. I don't know, y'all. I'm sure y'all seen that video or that meme where they're like, when you move out of your parents' house, you go grocery shopping or you just go shopping at their house. Y'all, I've been out on my own since I know myself. But what I would never stop doing, honey, is going to my mama's house and going to my parents' house and going to my grandparents' house and rating their stuff, period. Because I feel like that's a part of y'all, you know, all y'all having me, like, you know, all of y'all. I'm putting, yes, my grandparents and my parents. I know my parents only had me, but it don't matter because of my parents. My grandparents is the reason why my parents was here, and that's how they had me. So I feel like they all kind of played, you know, into this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I went and I took my mama her good honey office chair. I love it. It's so comfortable. It's good, girl. But it's definitely lower than my bar stool. And the bar stool, y'all, it gave nice and high, but it was not comfortable, y'all. I couldn't wait, y'all, to stop recording because I'm like, ugh, my ass. But I'll feel a little bit better, you guys. I hope the setup isn't that crazy. I don't think it is or drastic. Honestly, I hope it's a bit better. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the week, y'all. I know y'all probably felt like I missed last week, and honestly, I did not miss last week. We actually rented a studio last week. We had guests, so we rented a studio to record last week. So when that episode drops, you guys, it would definitely be out. And I definitely went there too, just to, you know, enhance, I guess, my brand and, you know, my purpose, I guess, to enhance my purpose. So finding different resources that's another reason why I went there, y'all. Like I think I told y'all before, I live in an apartment. I would never live in another apartment. I would never live in a hood-ass apartment. I didn't even know this was this bad, y'all, until I moved, y'all. And then when I moved, I had a neighbor moved after me, and it's beyond me. It's beyond me. I'm not even gonna get into y'all because I'm trying to keep my energy up and high. So what we probably gonna do, y'all, is move into the studio, which would definitely help with my anger, would definitely help with me staying in faith, honey, and, you know, allowing God to lead me and not allow myself. Because y'all, if I allow myself to lead me, baby, you listen now, okay? So that's what we was doing, you guys. That episode, y'all, was absolutely amazing. I loved everything about it. So when that do drop, you guys, I'll definitely go ahead and post some stuff on my Instagram and also on TTIA to give you guys an update or I guess, yeah, an update on when it's going to be dropped. So that's what I did last week, y'all. Let's get into this week, y'all. This week was actually pretty good, y'all. My daughter's birthday was yesterday. I officially have a 14-year-old. I got a 14-year-old. I cannot believe that 1-4. Yeah, I'm blessed. First off, thank God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I think a lot of times too, you know, as parents, y'all, we just be sometimes going through the moments, right? And going through the experience of being a parent. So, you know, we don't take time, y'all, just to thank God, you know. And for me, I think I try my best to stay in those moments, because my daughter did have she had an introduction, a grand introduction into this world. So I definitely, every chance I get, y'all, not just birthdays, but sometimes I just look at her and I just say, thank you, God, okay? Through the good and the bad times. And y'all, I know sometimes with these children, it be hard, but child, you gotta thank God for it, because y'all know, I mean, how I look at it, y'all, and I do believe that, you know, God allow us, or when he allow us, or he give us a chance to produce, you know, that's the most precious thing, one of the most precious things of us as women. And he clearly, for whatever the reason was, he chose you know, so he chose me with my kid. And, you know, sometimes we don't do the work, right? And to enhance those, reasons why God brought, you know, either brought you or brought that child into your life. But I just feel like I'm doing God's work. That is my child, but I know that it's the Almighty's, you know what I'm saying? He just used me as a vessel, hello. And I felt like I couldn't be matched with any better kid, okay? So happy birthday, Harmony. Mommy love you so much. Scooter Boo, mommy love you. Yes, guys, so her birthday was yesterday, y'all. We went to Busch Gardens. Let me tell y'all. First off, I haven't rode roller coasters, y'all, since I was a child, number one, okay? I was definitely probably 100 pounds lighter, okay? Probably more than 100 pounds, because I was an easy 80, 90 pounds. I was so skinny, y'all, growing up. So I was always tiny. Like, my family called me chicken legs. Like, that was one of my nicknames, chicken legs. So for me, going back into going back into Busch Gardens, I guess. I don't have the word. Y'all know how I get. Every time I record, my words just vanish for whatever the reason is. But yeah, we the last time I went there, y'all, like I said, it's been a while. So when we went in, my daughter, she was like, "Oh, Mom, I want to ride." I surprised her, actually, because she's been talking about the roller coasters and stuff for a while. And I'm like, Harmony, like, listen, sis, I can't, my heart, like, I cannot. I don't have that, I don't have it in me to ride those rides, y'all. I just didn't. So I took it yesterday. I said, you know what, I'm gonna bite it. I'm gonna bite the bullet, and I'm gonna just go ahead and take my kid, and then whatever she want me to ride on, I'm gonna ride on it. Cool, y'all. First ride we went on, y'all, was the Falcon Fury, I think it was. I passed out. My daughter, I passed out. Period. I passed out. Absolutely passed out. I just remember, like, going up, kind of like the Big Ben. I remember I rode these rides when I was younger, but that ride there was definitely taller than, like, the actual rides that they have in the carnival. Like, it was definitely bigger than that one. But I remember, like, it going all the way up, y'all. The minute I started to see the top of the trees, like the big old tall trees, I'm seeing the top of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see the whole of Tampa. Yeah, I said, okay, this time to close my eyes. Hell no. Y'all, and I closed my eyes, and I, like, literally, like, I peeked open. I don't know why I peeked open, because it was still going up more. Scared the shit out of me. And when I closed my eyes, like, by the time as I closed my eyes back the second time, the ride just, like, you know, it did, like, that drop. I don't know when I passed out. I don't know what was, like, the minute it dropped or mid. I don't know, but I know I passed out. That's what I know. Y'all, got off the ride, y'all, and my whole hand is, like, shaking. Like, shaking. I had an instant headache. I don't know what it is. I don't know if, like, I don't know, but I don't know, because I haven't rode those in a while, if that was the reason why it, I don't know why, y'all, but listen, I was scared out of my fucking mind. And my kid just like, that was so fun. It's so crazy when you were younger, you know, like that you don't fear nothing. Like, you fear nothing. You don't see the danger in Nathaniel, okay? But the minute you get older and you get some sense up in you, you like, Oh no, child. These people, you know, man-made stuff, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. And honestly, y'all, I really want to get back to that point where, you know, I trust in God, right? So I don't have a reason to fear. You know, of course, you still be vigilant, stay cautious, or whatever. But you know, do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm one of those persons. I really want to do skydiving. I'm really thinking about it now, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. Ever since I went on that ride yesterday, cause I'm like, damn, if I can't do that, I might pass out the minute I hop out that plane. And I ain't gonna never have time to pull a little string, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta really think about this. But I honestly, y'all, do want to get back to the point where I don't really fear nothing. And I really, it's like, I don't, like those roller coaster rides, I'm not really afraid of like heights. I'm far from afraid of heights. I didn't did like helicopter rides, you know, of course, airplanes, duh. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those persons, I forgot what hotel it was. Forgot what hotel it was, but I think it was like 22 feet up, and we went like all the way up top of the they had a rooftop up there. You know, I was like, I'm looking down. Like, those things don't scare me. I think it's like the ride of, you know, us being that high. And then of course, you know, as adults, we watch all these videos and all these stuff that happen throughout the years, and you're like, your mind just keep going. You know what I mean? So I just honestly, y'all, want to get back to the point where I'm able to just calm my mind and just relax, okay? So after Busch Gardens, so we actually had to leave early because, y'all, we got soaked. We got super soaked. I literally spent probably almost $400, y'all, at Busch Gardens. So they give you like a train ride to the actual gate, ticket gate, whatever. But when it rains, apparently, y'all, they leave you stuck like Chuck, baby. You gotta find your own way. Literally, y'all, it took us. We literally ran. We ran for shelter. When the shelter that we were under, you know, like it was a tent. So you know, like our legs and stuff was still getting wet, but that was okay. Like, once our body isn't getting wet, and I am also asthmatic as well, so I'm not even supposed to be getting wet at all, y'all. So fast forward, boom, it slowed down. We got to the ticket gate. So, you know, we got to the transport area where they kind of like pick you up and drop you off. So everybody, like the whole line, is like, you know, they lined off, like just waiting. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, we cut a lot of people, y'all. By the time we got at the line, we was like the third or fourth person to be on the train, right? So we just sitting there waiting, and we realizing like everybody, the cars, like the people leaving, you know, but we don't see not one train yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the people just piling. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I just told my daughter yesterday, I'm like, it's so important to be vigilant when you're out, you know what I mean? Just kind of take notice of your environment and what people are saying and so on and so forth. So I just happened to like turn around, and I heard somebody say, oh, the train isn't coming. The trains are parked up, or something like that. They were saying. The lady was on the phone with her husband. Her husband went to get the car, right? The husband went to get the car, went to get the car, and she was on the phone, and she repeated, oh, the trains are parked up, so basically they're not coming. So I said, Harmony, I said, the trains ain't coming. She said, how you know that? My daughter's like, how you know that? I said, because I just heard it. So she was like, well, what we gonna do? I said, child, we gotta make a run for it. And when I tell y'all, it ain't like drizzling, like little drops like here and there. It is pouring rain. I'm talking pouring rain, okay? Thankfully, y'all, I brought my Nike hat like out with me because I knew I was going to be in the sun, right? So I kind of put that on my head. I'm so happy, y'all, because listen, I not too long got this hair done. You feel me? You're not gonna play with my hair. So literally, y'all, we literally ran from the transportation area to our parking to the parking lot. Now, here's the crazy part. Where I thought I parked first, y'all, I thought it was, well, I parked in F, right? But the area where the transportation was, I seen a letter across, like in the same area, some distance, but you know, I could see the letter, and I thought it said F. Y'all, by the time as we got there to that parking spot, it was B. So we had to literally, y'all, we had to cross streets, we had to go through tunnels, y'all, just to get to our parking spot. Long story short, y'all, let me tell you something. Busch Gardens, y'all owe me some money because y'all left me stranded for dead. Y'all ain't put it inside the goddamn privacy setting, privacy shit or whatever. Y'all ain't said the security privacy. Y'all ain't said nothing about, oh, okay, well, listen, if it rains, you stuck like Chuck. You should have told me that, because if y'all told me that, I wouldn't have went there, y'all. I was We was drenched. My shoes, like you know, you're done. Like this is when we stopped running. We stopped running when I felt my shoe literally was like walking in water. Like my shoe had water in it. I said, you know what? Let's stop running, honey, because it ain't no point. Y'all, it was beyond me. But my daughter, we did have a good time. My daughter definitely enjoyed herself. So that was that's all that mattered. Of course, my kid, she wanted to go to Eddie V's after the fact, so I took her as well. So it was super good, y'all. So that was honestly, y'all, for the most part, my week. I was just really honestly focused on her enjoying her birthday. I'm one of those mothers, I think, because I am a single mother as well. When it comes down to holidays, it's even more special for me. Or when she accomplished something, it's that I make sure like every single thing is dedicated and focused on her. Okay, so job was done. Let's go ahead, y'all, and get into the icebreaker. You ready? Icebreaker, you guys. Icebreaker is, what's your dream job? What is your dream job? Okay, if you had to choose, or you know, what's your dream job, period? We ain't gonna do all that. What's your dream job? My dream job, y'all, I don't have a dream job. I don't have a dream job, like a job. I have a dream career, or purpose, I guess you say. Like, I don't see myself working for anybody, to be honest with you. Working for God, hello, but that's about it. My dream career, I guess you can say, or where I see myself, would be to speak, to be a motivational speaker, of course, to be an intentional speaker. That's what I want to do. I think that's my dream. My dream is to speak. My dream is to tell my story, and to enhance my speaking, to enhance my speaking, I guess you can say. To enhance all of that, basically, my dream career would be to speak. Okay, successfully speak, right? So yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and get into the topic, y'all. The topic, I don't know if if this is and I said this every episode I come and I say, oh, I don't want a topic, but then I still wind up using a topic. But for this one, I don't necessarily know if this is a topic or like the topic, but I just kind of pinned it here. So it says, the thing we do to be kept. The things we do to be kept. The things we do to be kept. So that came from me watching, again, the Dare My Future Wifey's podcast. I'm actually listening to him a lot often now. I seen his podcast months ago. Could have been a year, I don't know. When it was like that, you know, it went viral with one of the girls, that ladies that was on there, and her weave came off, y'all. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, after I seen that, I'm like, I ain't watching this, because I didn't know what it's about, honestly. I thought it was just about, like, I didn't know what it's about. I just thought it was funny, and I didn't watch no more. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. But after the whole, they had a sit down with Steven Speaks, Stacy, Jesse, Whoa, the lady from Marriage Huntsville. They had like a good amount of people. I forgot that man with his fine behind. Oh, he looked good. He had an interview or a sit down with, a sit down or debate with those group of people, and I started watching them. I started watching him. So I was actually on the Shade Room yesterday after we came home, and I seen this clip of Dania, I think her name is Dania Jackson. I don't want to mess her name up, but Dania Jackson. She was married to Derek Jackson. Child, y'all, we all know Derek, honey. Derek Jackson. And it's so crazy because when I first found out about Dania Jackson, we all kind of found out about her, or her marriage to Derek Jackson. I'm not gonna lie, I was damn sure one of those persons that did not give her grace. I was looking at her like, girl, you silly, you know what I'm saying, and doing all that stuff. I actually think I made a podcast, not a podcast, a TikTok. At the time it was going around and, basically mocked what she was going through. You know what? I tell people, I think the beauty of God, and when you do work in yourself and when you become more aware, you know your right and wrongs. You know what I mean? And in that situation, now that I know what I know, I can definitely say I was wrong. I can definitely say that as women, we have to, when you hear a person's story, and it can be so, probably so far-fetched from something so far-fetched from what you would probably do today, but we forget about yesterday. We forget what we did yesterday, right? So when somebody comes to you, or you hear a story about a woman, or a person, we're quick to say, oh, this person's this and this person. We're quick to point the finger. But she had an interview with, I don't remember his name, y'all. But she had an interview on his podcast. And first off, let's talk about this. Danae is beautiful. Danae is beautiful, okay? Do not play with her. She's a very beautiful lady, very intellectual. You can tell that she has a walk with God. You can tell that she has a trauma. Her trauma is so, runs so deep. But I love her vulnerability. I love that she was a great team sport. I love that she did the work. She did the work. She did the work, and I think that's so important. That's so important for me to say, because y'all, when I tell y'all, it was a clip that the Shade Room ran. When they said he was married, or even though he was married, he slept with over 100 women, right? And that's what they ran with. Again, I'm not here to. I'm just here to give grace. I get that everybody have a business, but I'm so glad that I didn't take. Not everybody have a business, but people have businesses and they run it how they please. But I'm glad that I didn't just leave it as that. I'm glad that I didn't just look at that clip and marked her off again as this dummy or this person who is, because as I watched the actual video, let me tell you something. I can say anything else except for I know people that experienced that, or I experienced that. Like every single thing that she said, I can sit there and say, oh my God, like I've experienced that, or I know somebody that experienced that. Okay, and I was also watching a podcast today. I was watching also the Know For Sure podcast earlier today before I started recording, and Megan Brooks made an illustration referring to like trash. I'm not gonna say verbatimly how she said it, but I'm going to mention it because I don't want anybody to look at this and of course see the similarity and feel like I'm copying her. But what she said was, it was something along along with unloading trash, right? And I'm gonna say whatever your trash days in your community, let's say your trash days are Monday and Thursdays, or your trash days are Tuesdays and Mondays and Wednesdays, or Tuesdays and Thursday, whatever it may be, Tuesday through Friday, whatever it may be, and you go weeks without taking out your trash. First off, it's going to be overfilled, right? So you're probably, if you only have one bin, you are going to overfill the bin, right? So you're going to have trash all outside the bin, you know what I'm saying? Food everywhere, you know what I'm saying? You got toilet paper and boxes and everything coming out of the trash bin because it's overfilled. You ain't took the trash out in weeks, right? And if you want like me, I'll take my trash out, honey, just for the hell of it. I don't keep food inside my in my trash bin, but I don't know what it is with me and stuff in my trash. I can just look at my trash bin, I'm like, Harmony, take it out. She'd be like, Mama, it's just too bad. Take it out, please. Take it out, right? So you get to the point of, like I said, continuously adding stuff into that trash bin. And when trash day comes, you don't take it out and you go weeks with doing the same routine, you are going to have an overfill of trash, right? And it's not just going to be overfill, but depending on what you eat and depending on what you have in your trash, it's going to stink. It's going to stink really, really bad, right? And if you're one of those person that like to eat like seafood all the time, one like me, honey, you like to eat crabs, and you like to eat calamaris, and you like to eat oysters, you like to eat clams, you know what I'm saying? You like to eat shrimps. You like the all this good stuff, all that stuff, right? Don't be from the islands, because you know we like curry, and you know that curry would stink up a house quicker than quick. Okay, so you got all them stuff inside that trash bin. It's not just polluting now your environment or where you stay, it's probably polluting the whole block, right? And I use that illustration to say, you know, when I was listening to Danae Jackson, you heard a lot of childhood trauma. I just kept hearing a lot of childhood trauma. You know, so when she started her conversation, she spoke about her having teenage parents. She spoke about, you know, feeling abandoned. She spoke about feeling neglected. She spoke about being raped. And then she went from, I don't want to fast forward, you guys. Okay, so she spoke about those things, right? And for me, the minute she spoke about just those three things, I looked at myself, like, as I was getting ready, and I said, T, how dare you? Like, Niecy, how dare you? How dare you? Like, how do you feel like you have room to judge anybody? She had teenage parents. First off, her mother and her father was 16 and 18. My mother and my father is 13 and 14. Okay? So she had teenage parents. She was raped. I was molested. Something else she also suffered, or she was like the ugly duckling, I guess you could say. Like, you know, just, and again, I don't want to misconstrue her words, but from what I heard or what I understood, she felt like the ugly duckling in her group of friends, or just period. She just felt like she wasn't as attractive as other people, right? So that within itself, I'm sure so many people that can sit there and say, okay, well, you know what? I felt that, I had that, I had this, I had that, right? So, you know, she spoke about all of the stuff that she kind of basically went through in her in her childhood. And then when she was 19, that's when she was raped, right? Excuse me. And then 3 weeks later is when she met Derek Jackson, right after she was raped, right? Right after, and she was not just raped, but she didn't mention it, she didn't bring it up, she didn't discuss it with anybody. 3 weeks later, she met Derek Jackson, and she said that Derek felt like, you know, he poured into her. You know, he spoke about how beautiful she was, and, you know, she's so smart, and this and that, and so on and so forth. And what it did was it gave her this false narrative of herself, right? And even though she probably didn't know, even if she probably felt like, even if she knew that it wasn't true, it made her okay to, it gave her that, like, you know, again, it gave her this sense of like false narrative. So it made her feel good, right? And when somebody isn't doing something for you, or, you know, if it's an area that you're neglected in, and somebody come and add to that, you're going to naturally feel like this person is Santa Claus. Okay? You are going to feel like this person is the it guy, right? And, you know, it's a thing too, I feel like when you've been, or speaking from my experience, when you've been hurt sexually, or when you've not hurt but been abused sexually, mentally, physically, emotionally, it leaves a hole. You remember, I spoke about I think 2 weeks ago, where I spoke about, you know, when somebody physically abused you to compare to somebody internally abusing you. Either way, it leaves a hole, right? And depending on how deep that hole is, and, you know, and especially when you have other things, again, you know, other traumas added to that, and you have somebody else come into your life, or this person come into your life, and it feels like they're just filling that hole up, you like, I like it around here. You know what I'm saying? I like it around here. And it's not that they're filling the hole up, right, and doing everything right. They're filling that hole, but they're short in every other way, right? And she spoke about, so yeah, so she spoke about when she You know, like she said, like, you know, when she met him or whatever, how, you know, first off, he was handsome. And I'm not gonna lie to you, before all this shit, before all of the, you know, the stuff with the Derek Jackson stuff, I always thought he was a very attractive man. It's so true that when you realize a person's character is ugly, it makes you ugly, right? But prior to all of that, you know, she said that when she met him, you know, he was handsome, you know, he had a nice body, so on and so forth. And she's like, you know, she's like, and, you know, and she made a lot of little jokes here and there. But she was like, she's like, and for me, she's like the ugly duckling, do you know what I mean? With that type of man, she, you know, she felt like this sense of like upgrade. She felt like her life was upgraded. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I got him, you know, so on and so forth. And it's so crazy because I feel like a lot of relationships, a lot of women and men stay in relationships because they know that they are not, they stay in these relationships because in their mind, they feel like they can't get better. Right? Because a person is nice on the eyes, right? In your mind, you're dealing with so much past trauma and so much neglect, I guess, of yourself. When you have somebody else that pours that into their self and they naturally, like, you know, off rip, they nice on the eyes, you know, they look good. Everybody around you know they look good. And then on top of that, they keep it up with themselves. What you do now is you start to pour into this person. You start to focus on this person because you feel like you can never get nothing better. And then what we do a lot of times is we hold on to those fillers, those areas where he filled you, right, or she filled you, right, and you latch on to these things, right? So, like she said, you know, she said that she felt in her life, she felt like, you know, he upgraded her life. But she said as she got older, you know, or, you know, as the relationship grew, she realized that he gave her a lot of physical attributes, right? So anytime she would say something, you know, she'd say, oh, you have pretty eyes, or, you know, you're beautiful, you got a nice face, like stuff like that. But it's never, you know, I love how, you know, you're so nurturing. You get what I'm saying? You're so caring. I love your, you know, you can say I love your smile, but I love what makes you smile. You know what I'm saying? I love that feeling of, you know, when you help somebody else, your smile is totally different from, you know, you're noticing other things except for a person's physical attributes, right? And that's something too that, again, is so, like, listen to me. I knew the minute she started to speak that I was wrong for judging her. So what it did was, you know, and I tell people too, guys, when you're doing the work, please go in with an open heart, because when you go in with an open heart, it's easier and faster for you to unlock a lot of things too, or it helps you unlock a lot of different things too. So because I knew, okay, dang, I was wrong for judging her, I seen her. I didn't see the helmet of salvation. I didn't see the Derek Jackson drama. I didn't see a bunch of women, the infidelities. I didn't see any of those. I seen her. Okay, because the minute I said, okay, well, dang, we had the same, let me just hear her out. Okay, so for me, you guys, like I said, when she mentioned, you know, a man giving her a lot of physical attributes, you get to sometimes too, and again, when you are coming from a place of being intentional, you don't look at it as a jab. You go back and you're like, wait, I got a lot of that too. I had a lot of, you get a lot of physical attributes, but what about my core? What about my heart posture? What about my mind, right? What about the woman who I am, how I show up every single day? What about the mother that I am? What about the daughter that I am? What about that? What about just the girlfriend that I am? You know what I mean? Not just my physical attributes, right? So for me, y'all, I'm just, heads up, I'm gonna just put this in here real quick. I'm big on that. If I ask a man, I'm gonna ask you twice. Separate occasions, what do you see in me? First time, of course, because we were getting to know each other. If I allow myself to say, okay, this is something that, you know, I can see myself going further, I'm going to ask the same question. If the answer does not change from the first time you met me, we ain't going nowhere. We're not going anywhere. And the thing is, too, y'all, I'm also at a place in my life where I'm trying to decipher what to say and what not to say, because you realize too, I've learned, I think it was Steve Harvey that said that you know, you can spill so much, and he didn't say it like this, but I'm gonna break it in my own words. You can spill so much to the point where a man or a woman can turn themselves into the person that they think you want, because you've told it all. Right? And I'm not telling you everything, because then all you're gonna do is sit there and play with me, because I done told you, okay, well, I like walk on the beach with pink sandals. I like pink sandals, walk on the beach with, so everything I tell you, you're gonna come and bring me. use your mind, right? And if you can't use your mind, that means that it's just not of you. I'm a believer of being equally yoked. Like I said, everything is not supposed to work, but I believe that certain things is supposed to come natural. Okay, so let's get back on track. I said, like, so she said, you know, everything was about physical attributes. So he mentioned anything about, you know, her emotional attributes, never mentioned anything about her mental attributes, never mentioned anything about her character. And I do feel like these are clear red signs in any relationship, you know. And I think a lot of times too, what happens is, as a person probably like her, where all her life she felt like the ugly duckling. She went to all white high school. She did go to a HBCU in college, but she went to an all white high school. You know, and like I said, she always felt like the ugly duckling. She always had like acne on her face and stuff like that. So for her, you know, when a man is telling her how beautiful she is, it's like a dopamine. It's like that shit is like she high on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll do whatever for you because you said this about me, right? And if I'm saying that wrong or whatever, again, y'all, that's why I say let's talk about it. Leave some comments down there, right? So, you know, so fast forward, like I said, she met him when she was 19. So I am assuming that was around the college time or the college phase. And she said that she was in college. And she said that he had sex with a lot of women in college. This is before the marriage. This is before, in college. He had a lot of sex with different women. She said that she would get on, you know, she would like look through his phones and watch him have sex with different. And I don't know. She did mention, and she said that, you know, she didn't want to leave him. Right? So it was like she would look at these things, you know, who would like be like, give me your phone, give me your phone, give me your phone, give me your phone. You know, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I say give me your phone and I see it, I'm leaving. Even if I don't want to leave, I'm gonna have to leave, right? But you have females that, you know, ask for the phone or see something in the phone and then they cry and stay, right? And Danae basically said that she was the person that would cry and stay. She would see it in the phone, but she would stay. And for me, you know, again, what you might see as, you know, strong, I might not. What you might see as weak, I might not, right? So for me, watching somebody have sex with my man on the phone and I'm staying, that was like bizarre. I'm like, oh my God, like your trauma, that trauma has to run so deep. And then she said it, she was like, you know, I want him to change it, but I don't want to leave him at the same time. I don't want him to leave at the same time, and not in a cheating aspect, but I've had, you know, in relationships where, you know, I wanted a person to stop doing this or to stop doing that. So, you know, I'll fight it with my own fire, right? But I don't want you to leave. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I say I'm not judging her. I'm not doing anything. You know, it's just like I said, you know, for me, in my experience, just kind of picturing that, I'm like, that is a different type of that's a different type of hurt, you know. So she said so after she realized that, you know, that's what he was doing, you know, she said basically she got to the point where she began to compete with him, right? But not competing in a way where she's actually going around and hunching and doing all the stuff, but it's like she's playing a mental game now with him, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, she wants him to change, and I know this all too well. I know this all too well, because I'm quick to make it seem like a nigga calling me. I'm quick to make it seem like, oh, them Facebook dings, dumb niggas. The whole time I'm setting my, I'm doing something. I'm either using my old Facebook page and sending myself messages. I'm doing something to try to make you feel like, yeah, don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? So basically that's what she said she did. She said she got to the point where she was starting to compete with him. So then she got her hands dirty. She got her hands dirty, or she perceived to got her hand dirty for him to think that, you know, he's doing something. So basically she was trying to force him to change, right? And again, y'all, you can't come for this girl, because I know it's a lot of y'all out there right now. Y'all know what's popping. Y'all know what's up. Y'all know, period. Yeah. So, you know, she said that she basically tried to push him into changing, right? So fast forward after the whole, so what she would do, I think she said that it was a college, a college friend of hers or whatever, she kind of bamboozled him to thinking, she bamboozled him in, she bamboozled him to set up this whole thing to make Derek feel like they was in a relationship, right? And then, first off, I don't think she she didn't mention it or she didn't answer that question, but I don't think like he gave like this big old I give a fuck, like what's going on, you're not gonna play with me. She ain't got that, okay? And I know that she didn't get it because, like she said, when she got married to him, you know, he got to the point where he would gaslight her and use that same thing that he knew that she was doing and say, well, you was fucking around when you was married, but they wasn't married. They was actually, you know, just kind of in a relationship in college or whatever. So yeah, and I have to say this as well too, guys, and I'm sorry, you guys, maybe the conversation might not be as flowing as it is because I do have a lot of notes down. And I really want to get it out, okay? So I have a note here where it says that when you don't deal with your trauma, you add to your relationship drama, right? So I said this the same before. I think I got it from Ayanna Vonson, where she said that your childhood trauma creates your adult drama. And I basically said it in the same way. When you don't deal with your trauma, you add to your relationship drama, right? So it's one thing, yes, when you go, you know, all of your stuff that you go through childhood, you know, your traumas is going to create those problems and show up in your adult, right? But also when you don't deal with it, it's also going to turn into drama into your adult life as well. So that is something I definitely had to learn was, you know, to go through the whole list, through all of my traumas, through all of those things that I knew that I had a chip on my shoulder. And I don't, if anybody wants to know, I personally feel like there is no way that you can get to that other road without dealing with those past problems, right? Remember I spoke about the whole trash, the trash days, and so if you don't go and you don't take that trash bin, right? If you don't take that trash bin with all that shit that's overflowing, if you don't take that out to the road on the actual trash day for that to be taken out, right? Because you could take it out to the road on a Monday, and if you could take it out to the road on a Saturday, but if the trash day don't come until Tuesday, you still stuck like Chuck. You still stuck, right? So when you are being intentional and you do the work, right, and you take that trash out, but all the stuff in it to the road on the trash day on Tuesday, right? So when you get home from work, now boom, you got a clean trash. So now you can add more stuff into it without it being overflowed, right? And even though, here's the kicker, even though now you back to, okay, you now you can see the bottom of the trash bin, if you don't consistently take that trash out on the trash days, you're going to wind back up in that overflow of shit, that overflow of trash. So basically, the work is a continuous thing. You don't sit there and say, okay, well, you know what? I'm changed. I know the woman that I am, blah, 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 so on and so forth. That's it. That's all. God is with you 24/7, 24/8. Okay? It's always a work, something he wants you to be doing. Okay? So if you stop doing it, you're going to see those problems in your relationships. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see those problems in your family. You're going to see those problems show up in your kids, right? So I think it's super important. I think it's extremely important to do the work. I think it's absolutely important, you guys, to again, you have to start from the bottom. I don't feel like you can it's impossible to have a healthy relationship if you don't, and especially if you have trauma. If you have childhood trauma, it's impossible to go into your adult life and say, okay, I got it all together, I got the keys, I know what to do, because you didn't deal with the stuff that's in the past. Okay, so maybe you know what to do on this job, but that job that you had prior to that, I guarantee if you go back and you see all the wrong things that you didn't do, you could be better at this one. So what's something that interests me, she said, she knew Derek cheated or was having relationships, whether intimate or platonic, or his relationship always clearly seems to end up intimately, okay? But she said that she knew the level or the step he took by just a simple touch. And I don't want to say it's interesting but not interesting, because I remember being, especially I don't know if any other relationship, but my past relationship, my ex he wasn't a very touchy, affectionate person, but I knew it's like when we're good, right? And I don't know if it was cheating, but I knew it was like, I knew when stuff was off, right? So I knew that if he goes from, and it may sound crazy, right? Because a person could say, well, maybe he just didn't want to. No, no. I knew. And I think I knew, or maybe I think I knew because, and I never chopped it up as that. But I think for me, I have very intimate relationships. I don't have, all of my relationships are very like close to me. And it's close to the point where I know, like if I know my friend, right? I know my friend. I know when my friend is off. I know when she's this. I know when she's that. I know. Same thing as far as like in my intimate relationships. And I think I kind of target, or I'm held strong on those areas because I know what it is when I am neglected, right? I think I said it before, my mother had me at 13. My father had me at, my mother was 13. My father was 14, but he was very absent. I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat it. He was absent. He was an absent father. And when he showed up, it was like probably twice, 3 times, if that, a year. And it didn't help. If anything, it made my situations worse because like I know that I have a father, right? But he's choosing not to show up. And I didn't look at it, he's choosing not to show up. It was like something that I did, and I felt like for me, his family was more like proper and more like, and my grandmother's side, or my mother's side of the family, was more like, don't play with me, I'll knock you inside your head hole. Was popping. Y'all, run this shit. So I felt like I was too ghetto for him. I felt like all these things. So it allowed me, like, I think, and it's crazy because I'm talking about it and I'm noticing it or trying to wrap my head around it at the same time. So I think what happened, and the reason why I'm so like pinpoint on my people around me and their emotions, is because for me, when it was taken away from my father, or when he did certain things, I chopped it up as this, or I chopped it as I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know, but I'm very aware of people and how they move, and I'm very aware of that. And it's not a good thing. It's a good thing, but it's not a good thing, especially when you're looking for the negative parts in it. You know what I mean? So I definitely understood that part. And then I wrote down here, soul ties, right? Just kind of like soul ties. I think what happens too, I don't know their situation, but she said that, first off, it sounds like it, even if I don't know their, in-house situations or, behind closed door, but from what we see, it definitely felt like there was definitely soul ties. And I don't know, could it be soul ties from one person and not the next person? I don't know how that works, but I know, and then, I kind of went through the whole definition of soul ties as well, too. And every time when I mentioned it, I'm like, yep, definitely that's what I had. And it was crazy, too, because, when we mention soul ties, I think a lot of times when we mention soul ties, a lot of times we just focus on the problems of it, right? Or, what this person did. Because a lot of times, too, when you hear soul ties, you think of, stuff going wrong after the fact, right? Or you having like this good, like this sex was so amazing and so good. And that's all you think about. I think a lot of times, too, we have to learn that even when you are aware that, or when you could be out of the relationship and you go back down the list and you're like, wait, I think that was soul ties. Find the work. Find out what God wanted you. What was it that why he put you there? I do believe, I told y'all, nothing in my life happens to me, it happens for me. And I know what I know. And I know that all of my relationships was definitely for a reason. And thank God that I I have that, and sometimes it take a little longer. You know, not as long as it, you know, I see a lot of people or some people, but you know, it takes me some time to, you know, get it. But once I get it, I get it. Once I get it, I gets it, honey. Okay, you ain't gotta remind me not no more again, honey. I got it, get it good. Okay, so I think a lot of times, you know, like when we go through these soul ties or these experiences with people, find out what God wants you to get from it. Find out what was the message behind it, right? So, and I think it's important to find it out, because if you don't find it out, you can wind up in a situation even worse than what you was in before. Do you get what I'm saying? You can wind up, y'all know, I don't want to say it, but y'all know. And I think a lot of times too, you know, because it ends there for these people, we don't get to hear that story, right? But I think again, people like us who went through the experiences, we do ourselves and we do others a disservice by not helping, telling, and teaching the other person. Okay, like I said, I think a lot of times too, when we hear soul ties, we just think about the sex, right? We think of the sex just being so, it's like it just takes you in. It's like you got, you know what I'm saying, like it's like y'all both sucking each other body, and that's the first thing we think about. Not the toxic parts of it, not the disrespect, not the disloyalty, you know, that we face, right? So I wrote down some notes of soul ties, just if you guys wanted to know if you were in soul ties, if you are in a soul tie, if you're about to be, it seems like you're on your way to a soul tie, wrapped up in it or whatever. Soul tie happens, it says soul ties happens when you share common childhood experiences. Spend a lot of time together, don't want to be apart. Oh my God. Like, nigga used to be mad. Old boy used to be pissed off. Like, you wanna go to, what you going to your house for? Cause I paid rent there? Nigga. You know, and in my mind, I'm like, you don't want me to leave? That is so sweet. You know what I'm saying? Girl. Anyway, soul ties is a type of spiritual connection that relationship experts and matchmaker Samara Sullivan describes as the knitting together of two souls. And I believe that. I believe that. Like, you feel, it's a feeling. It's deeper than just a relationship. It's I feel like for me, it's like every single thing that this person did was like, it affected me, whether good or bad. I started to pick up a lot of ways and things that, you know, mannerisms and songs that he would play. It was just, I don't know. And it was like, it was a good and a bad feeling. You know what I mean? It was like, when it's good, it's good, but when it's bad, it's bad. And for me, sometimes when it was good, it was still bad, right? But it was good enough. You know what I'm saying? I hope I'm making sense, y'all. But I also questioned myself a lot in that relationship too. I seen the stress that it had on me after I left the relationship. That's why it's so dangerous as well when you are in a relationship with somebody that you're so tied to and you're not even aware of it, right? You're not even aware that this is something that it's happening, because sometimes you could put yourself in a situation where it's too late. I think for even in my past relationship, I can probably name 2 or 3 times where I could say that could have went all the way left. Like, seriously, it could have went left. Like, only reason why I didn't went left, honey, it was because of God. Like, I know that, and I feel it in my heart of hearts that the only reason why that it did not went left is because that man above had a reason for me to still be here. That's clear as day, period. I know that. I know that, okay? And I think, too, you guys, it's so important, you guys, to feel your emotions and to know, first of, you know, some feelings aren't facts, right? But to be aware of them, right? Because I think for me, allowing myself to be aware of my emotions and be aware of the things that I do, it gives me a sense of discipline as well, right? So this type of person, I just can't, the math ain't math, and honey, no, I already know what he put me through. Right? I already know what he put me through. And sometimes, yes, we do forget. Sometimes we forget what God do for us. But when in those moments, honey, where you know for a fun fact that it was him and him alone, I pray that you don't put yourself back in a situation. If you do, God be with you, right? Last on this, you guys, is I've also made a note as well where I said that even though you're not a narcissist, your past unchecked trauma can allow you to show up just as toxic. So even though you're not a narcissist, your past unchecked trauma can allow you to show up just as toxic, right? So even though, and that's what it did for me, because I know for a fact that even though I wasn't as, I wanted love. I wanted somebody to just, that's what I wanted from him. But his reasons was totally different, right? And then what happened, what happened was because my trauma and all those things was unchecked, and I didn't get to the point where, I could say, okay, well, you know what? I'm not dealing with that because, this is a problem that he has to deal with his, whatever that is. I didn't get to that point. So what happened was, like I said, when he started to do things, now here I am, because now my ego is playing, my ego is big. Okay. Beyonce made that song for me. I got a big ego, and it ain't shit good about me. But my ego played. And then it was like one of those things where I'm like, okay, well, this what you gonna do? Then I'm gonna do this, right? And it was not because I want to do it like I'm fighting fire with fire, but it's like, oh, I'm gonna prove to you, I'm gonna show you. And then I wind up showing myself, and I wind up putting myself deeper into. It's so crazy too. I remember, you'll wind up trying to prove a point, right, to this person, especially a narcissistic person, because don't nobody know how to gaslight better than them, honey. They can gaslight the fuck out of you. You can come into the situation like, yeah, I'm gonna get this nigga. Honey, after the situation, you don't want left crying. You're like, I shouldn't have done that. Like, what? But again, when you don't know, you don't know, right? But when you know, you're supposed to do different. You do better, at least. All right. And I think it goes without saying that all of this, in order for you to get into a relationship like this, like, with Danae and like me, and a lot of relationships that, that people act like they ain't had, right, is allowing. I think that's the big thing, is allowing, right? Understanding and allowing is important to rebuilding. Not understanding and allowing is detrimental to rebuilding as well, right? So if you don't know it, you're gonna break the whole shit down. The whole London Bridge is gonna fall down if you don't know, if you don't allow, if you don't do the work, if you don't check those childhood traumas, right? You is in a bad situation, okay? And like I said, I think a lot of times that's the reason why we wind up in these situations, because these things do go unchecked, all right? So y'all check on it, y'all. Check on it. What are the things, guys, that have been hunting you since you was a kid? What haven't you, dealt with in a while? What was that thing, that probably in school or family, whatever that it may be, and it allows you to still walk around with a mean mug on your face? That allows you to still react in an aggressive way when somebody, step on your toe, step on your shoe. You know what I'm saying? What allows you for, if somebody call you, if somebody say, girl, please, you like, bitch, pussy asshole. You know what I'm saying? What is that, right? What is that? And are you checking on it, okay? You guys, I hope this conversation was good. It was good watching it, you guys. Today is a Thursday. So the second episode of the part 2 of the episode dropped. Again, you guys, check it out. There, my future wifey. I'm so sorry that I did not know this man's name. Listen, don't come for me, because it's like my second time. Oh, now the third from the part 2. But I should have wrote it down. I'm so sorry, guys. But yeah, go ahead and check him out. There, my future wifey. I'm definitely going to be looking at a lot more of his episodes. and his episodes. He have a lot of good people on there that I personally love. So you have a lot of people that I'm definitely interested in watching. And then I heard a little bit of his story as well. And I think it's very powerful and impactful, especially for men and women as well, right? Because then you realize, I think for him, I think he said that he cheated or he had some type of form of infidelity. Again, clips because I'm just getting to know him, right? So, but I think the beauty of that, or the beauty of him saying that, is for me, was to know that a person can accept accountability, right? And even how he spoke on it is like, okay, he knows what he did, right? But he's also doing the work. So I think that's also beautiful for men and women to go ahead and check out, all right? So let's go ahead, you guys, and get into the word of the day. The word of the day, y'all, was going to be one thing, but now that I said it, it's going to be another. The word of the day, y'all, is check on it. Check on it. That is the word of the day. You already know. Got to be the first person, not the second or the third. Hit me up on TTIA with Nisi. Okay, goes down in the DM. Like y'all know, it really don't go down in my DM. Y'all, niggas, what's up? See, that's the reason why I ain't find my nigga yet. Well, that's the reason why I ain't find my man yet. You know why? Because I be like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? What's going on? No, but for real, y'all, like, seriously, I am definitely, y'all, after having this conversation about soul ties and, you know, not doing the work, honey, she has done the work. The work has been done. She's working, huh? And I'm ready to date, y'all. I'm ready to put myself out there. I'm actually very excited. Super excited. I am dating and dating alone. I am not making anything official until he is my person. Period, right? That's the stage I'm in, y'all. That's the stage, the age that I am in. I want my person. I'm tired of everybody. I'm tired of these niggas. I'm tired. But I also want to be at a place in my life, like I said, you guys, where I'm able to be around like-minded people, like-minded men, and have some options out here, okay? Have some options out here, okay? And like I said, y'all, I'm not like I said, but off track, just a quick bit. I personally feel like God definitely has had his, nothing. I know that he had his hand all over me, all over my journey, my purpose, and all of that, you guys, because I know and I've learned that and I'm speaking from a place where when I say I want to date, my body is not attached to it, right? Abstinent. Remember, 3 years, 1 sex. Remember that, okay? So when I say I'm out here dating, I'm able to have self-control and I'm able to lead. I can lead intimately, right? Without leading with which one is it, Tom or Jerry? Is Jerry the cat or is Jerry the rat? Tom. I ain't leading with Tom down here. So, you know, I'm able to, you know, get to know people and get to know them for who they are, and to learn, you know, to learn more about myself as well. So I think that's the beauty of it. That's the reason why I'm actually honestly so excited and happy to get out here and start dating again, get out, you know, get dressed up and meet people. I want to meet people. I want to meet men, like-minded men. You know what I mean? I want to be able to conversate about God, right? I want to be able to talk about, you know, how you communicate. And it was something, I don't remember who said it, but I think it is super important, you guys, to ask questions. I've always been one of those persons, even when I started a new job for 18 years, but I don't care how long I've been in it. Anytime I start somewhere new, I tell my trainer, the person that's training me, I say all the time, I am going to ask you a lot of questions, even if I know I'm asking the same thing over again. So I think that's the point I'm at, y'all. Just asking questions and getting the answers and see what worked for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to connect the dots. You know what I'm saying? If I can connect the dots and it turn into a heart, he for me, period, okay? So like I said, you guys, word of the day is check on it. And let's just go ahead and get into the beat of the week. The beat of the week, you guys, y'all know I done told y'all the Afro beat has been beating me bad, so bad. It is Davido, No Competition. It's called the song, it goes, how it go? It go, no competition for my lady, hey, Anna, and she get one something and I need and more. My lady, what you see, my lady, oh, it's on a bubble. Yo, I'm gonna say it. If y'all not in Afro beats at this point, y'all music is shitty. No shade, no tea. I love all of y'all. Y'all know. But listen, the Afro beats is what? What? Like, quit playing with me. So yes, like I said, that is from DeVito. That is from his Timeless album. Called No Competition. No competition for his lady. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find a man that's gonna say no competition for my lady. Yeah, that's what I need. I need a man that I ain't got no competition, baby. You better tell them no competition, not for his lady. Period. All right, you guys, I love you guys so much. Like I said, when I do get that episode, it would definitely be dropped. I'll go ahead and put some information on TTIA with Neezy. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe over here on YouTube, okay? Because if not, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Like, I don't get it. I don't do one nights. I don't like it. And you give me like a one night type of vibe, okay? I done told y'all I'm doing the work. I'm in my purpose. I'm trying to find my person. If you're not my person, then why are you on here? Y'all already know what to do, child. Don't you forget to tell a sister, cousin, brother, uncle, auntie, niece, great cousin on your daddy's side that this is the Thing About a Podcast with your girl, Niecy. We out.